do, just allowing ourselves to land in this seat, this room, in this place. So with soft eyes, we can kind of gaze into the spaces of the room, just taking in light, taking in the entries and the exits, and maybe even the spaces behind us, moving the head and the eyes. And then we might just, with that soft gaze, bring our attention into the physical body. We could rub our hands together, and you can, as with anything in these sessions, it's completely invitational, so feel free to join in or skip over bits if you prefer. But might just literally just place the hands on this body, just working my way in whatever way makes sense for you, through this body down onto this chair. If you can make it down towards your feet as well, onto this ground. And just a couple of times, just maybe just feeling literally all of the parts of the body from head to foot. Just gently meeting them with the hands. This body, not someone else's body, not the body we imagine we have, but this body here in this place. I'm going to do that one last time, and you might stroke, you go all the way down the body, you make it make sense to you, but it's just bringing that attention, physical sensation, bringing that attention into this body here and now. And get a little comfortable in your chair. Make sure that you feel fully comfortable in your chair. Just letting Roberta in. There we go. And we're just gonna make any little movements and rocks and wriggles. And welcome to you if you're just joining. Welcome, welcome. And you might like to, as usual, take the opportunity to take a little slump into the chair. So as if this was the back of the chair to rest and rest the head a little bit. Or you may like to start self-supporting, the feeling that the spine is really going up and out of the pelvis. And the head is not pushing forward, we're lifting up, we're dropping to the chest. But there's a sense of just settling into the back of the head. And the chin is just a little drop, perhaps. And we'll just, from either slouching and taking a little slump or self-supporting, we'll just take a few breaths. And we might like to rub the hands one more time and maybe rest them onto the body. Here comes Virginia. Maybe rest the hands onto the body. So it could be that you feel you like the hands around the chest this morning. You might like to just give yourself a bit of a hug. You might like the hands to be on the belly. I think I'm going to give myself a bit of a hug. And just with that soft eyes, or maybe the eyes closed, just taking a couple of breaths now in this body. A couple of breaths. Hands resting somewhere on this body, feeling those hands, feeling maybe the warmth or the weight, the contact. And you could imagine that those hands are a really comfortable warmth. Imagining, even if they're not, my fingertips are really cold, but imagining that they're really warm. That warmth radiating into that part of the body that you're in contact with. Let's find our way a little bit more richly to the breath with a little bit of movement. So let's just bring our hands together in front of the chest, and as we breathe in, we can reach up, comfortable height, and as we breathe out, just float the hands either side of the body and bring them back to the chest. Feeling the feet on the ground as we let the hands lift up, maybe breathing in, and then floating the arms out to the side, maybe as we breathe out and bringing the hands back to the chest. We're constantly feeling that contact with feet on the earth, bottom on the chair, And maybe choosing to be self-supporting through the spine now, so to feel the spine nice and long. And this can feel like a bit of a stretch if you want it to, or it can feel quite soft and be a little bit more like a meditation, just that feeling of hands touching hands, that warmth. And then as the hands separate, that hands touching the light coolness of the air. And it could be as if we're able to take up as much space as we might want to with these hands, with these arms. We could reach out to the side and take up as much space. And we could move one bit of movement with one bit of breath, or we could take our time and slow the movement down and take as many breaths as we would like. A couple more. See how it might be to look up towards the hands now if you wanted to lift the chest. And as the hands come down, to feel that sense of opening through the chest. And then look down to the hands at the chest center. Following the hands with the eyes, with the face. Reaching up, almost trying to see the hands out to the side of the body as you then bring them back in front of the chest. Following the hands with the eyes, trying to keep the hands in your peripheral vision as best you can as they then come back to the heart. Maybe once more. Remembering if you get tired, you can rest and just imagine doing the movement. Just imagine. And then from the heart space, let's breathe in and let the arms reach out to the side. And then as we breathe out, we could wrap one arm over the other and let the head drop a little. And then one arm and the other out to the side. And then a different arm on top this time as we give each other, or give ourselves, rather. It would be nice to give each other a little hug, but give ourselves a hug. Breathing in. Now you could exaggerate this. You could really open the chest and really lift the face to the sky. And as you come in, you could really round the back. Or it might feel more comfortable to keep this movement a little bit smaller and just more in the arms. So you may prefer not to move the back in that way. And just to keep more work through the shoulders and the arms. You make it as big or as small as you like. Take one more of these. And then let's take one arm up towards the sky and one arm down. It doesn't have to be straight. You could bend. And just kind of take a little bit of like a, I don't know, I almost think it's like a windmill. A bit of a windmill action with the arms. It's just quite floating and quite free. We're just literally just bringing some movement and breath together without any great demand on creating a shape. Feeling that stretch and length now into the side body. And then we're going to carry bent arms. We're going to take the arms out to the side of the body. We're going to take a little twist. We're going to just bring one arm behind us and one arm in front. And if the hands get tired at this point, arms get tired, just let the hands rest on the legs. But if you're happy to, just keeping the chest nice and open, feet on the floor, just swinging the right amount of momentum for you today. One elbow forward and one elbow back. And then let's come back to center and let's just rest the hands down for a moment. Let's drop the chin towards the chest. Rest the head, take a couple of breaths. Let the attention settle right into the center of you, wherever you feel that to be. Imagine breathing with awareness right in the center of you. One more breath here. And let's just roll the head. Oh, someone else joining here. Let's just roll the head from side to side. I'm going to let another soul come and join us. Welcome to you if you're just joining us. We're just moving really freely this morning. And the head, you might want to move it really slowly. You might be feeling quite a lot of tension around the neck and the shoulders. You might need to really move with great tenderness and care. Oh, someone else coming in. Here comes another soul. Welcome. We're just moving the head from side to side. And as we do, I'm just going to scribble down the register. There's a few that have joined us since we've got going, just to make sure I've got everybody. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, yes, one last one. Super. Yeah, rolling the head from side to side. We could add in that little squeeze of the shoulders if we like. So as we roll the head to one side, we could squeeze the shoulder blades back behind us. And then release, roll the head to the other side. Squeeze the shoulder blades back behind us. Oh. Really nice. Bring the head back to center and just let the head hang for a moment. Let the head hang and then slip the hands off the legs. Take the feet, maybe if it's available to, a little step forward so that I turn to the side so the heels aren't under the knees, they're a little bit forward. Drop the arms forward, let the head round. And take care if your lower back is a little tender here. You can always come forward with more of a straight spine if that's more comfortable. Otherwise, we're going to try and let the spine round. So as we breathe out, we're going to really see how much of the C curve you can bring to the back. I have quite a flat back, so it's quite challenging for me to find quite a round curve. But I'm going to take as much round curve as I can, imagining my front body drawing towards the back body. And then I'm just going to let the arms hang, let the head hang as best I can. Just take a breath into this shape. And then press through the feet. Walk them back in if I need to for extra support as I begin to straighten my spine, keeping the shoulders hanging. Really no effort through the shoulders, just beginning to straighten the spine. I may even lift my chin a little bit towards the ceiling. Keeping those front ribs quite in for now, just lifting the face. And then I'm just going to repeat a couple of times. I'm going to bring my chin towards my chest, give away the weight of my shoulders, my elbows, my wrists. Really try to round the spine as best I can. Really try to let the body hang for a moment and breathe into this rounded back. And I'm going to use the muscles of the back to help bring me upright. I'm going to press through my feet. I'm going to begin to slowly lengthen out the lower back, middle back, upper back. Not really instructing the shoulders at all. They're just nice and relaxed, but I might open my face a little bit towards the sky. We're going to take that one more time. This time there's a chance if you want to as you come up to engage through the arms. So we're going to take that loose, hanging, rounded spine, that forward fold. Take a full breath there. And then press through the feet. Grow out of the lower back, the middle back. And if it speaks to you to raise your arms towards the sky as you lift your face and open your upper back towards the sky, you could let that happen. Have a good reach up. I'll turn back towards the front. And then from this place, let's drop the left elbow down. Let's let the left elbow drop down towards the sky at the waist. And you can hang that arm. And then really reach up into that right arm. Try and find as much height and length. Maybe roll through that right wrist. You could push down a little bit through the right foot as you reached up through the right hand. Feel that generous opening through the right side of the body. And then as that arm gets a little tired, swap sides. Bring that right elbow in. Reach that left arm up. Let the right arm really hang loose. Take that arm as high as it wants to go. It doesn't have to be straight. If it can be straight, it could be straight. You could roll through the wrist. You could push down through that left foot into the ground. the head do what it would like. Maybe it wants to hang. Really feel that space. And then just move freely from one side to the other. So you take as long as you like, just to repeat. Arm hanging down is loose, arm reaching up is reaching. Feel your way from one side to the other, no rush. Long through the side body. And then come back to center, really nice. No rush to finish. We're going to take a kind of mini little, a variation of the sun salutation. So I'm going to sit to the side of my chair so you can see. Let's let the hands just rest onto the body. Put my feet slightly forward of my knees. And then when I'm established in my seat, bring my hands to the heart. I'm going to breathe in and reach up. And as I breathe out, I'm going to take my arms wide and bring them down and land my hands onto the legs. Keep the breath flowing nice and free. I'm going to tuck my tailbone now around my spine and let my head rest. So I'm looking here really to make that rounded spine again. Take a full breath. Breathe in. I'm going to grow my spine, lift out the lower back, middle back, upper back, lift my chest and face to the sky. If I want to, I can reach my arms up as well. And then as you breathe out, I'm going to come forward with my body towards the legs. Keep the breath flowing, either resting onto the hands, resting onto the elbows, or choosing to come further down over the legs if that suits me. Take a full breath, whatever position you're in. Give away the effort of holding the head. And then use the feet, push the ground away, use the hands up the body, take your time. You could reach your arms back up towards the sky if you would like. And then as you breathe out, bring the hands together and back to the chest. Yeah, keep the breath flowing. Let's go again. Feel the feet on the ground as you float the arms up towards the sky. And then float the palms down, let them land onto the legs. Find your breath, tuck your tailbone and round your spine. And then grow out of that lower back, middle back, upper back. Lift the chest towards the sky. Maybe lift the arms towards the sky. And as you breathe out next, we're going to fold forward from the hips, coming onto the hands, onto the elbows, or bringing the hands towards the legs or the feet. The head rest, and just take a breath into the back body. Use the hands up the body for support, or float the arms up towards the sky as you bring the chest back up. There's no rush to complete. Hands are going to find one another and we're going to bring them back towards the heart space. And then this time we're going to add on a little bit. So we're going to press through the feet, breathe in, reach up. Breath flowing freely as we release the hands out to the side and they find their way onto the legs. Tucking the tailbone, rounding the spine and resting the head. And then lengthening the spine from the lower back, middle back, upper back, maybe reaching arms towards the ceiling. Folding forwards from here into whatever shape you wish to find. Hands, elbows on legs, or hands down toward the ground. And then coming back up, reaching the arms up towards the sky. And then this time, floating the arms again out to the side body, again out towards the side body, and taking hold of the chair behind you. And I'm going to tuck my toes under. It doesn't matter which side you start on, just tuck the toes under on one leg and feel the weight of the thigh bone dropping down to bring a little space into the front of the hip. Some of you may find that you're happy to let the knee drop quite far down, or if you're sitting on the edge of the chair, even to sort of fall behind you. But feel that you've got the support of the chair and the front foot on the ground wherever your leg ends up. And then we're going to draw the elbows back towards one another and open through the front body and just lift the chest toward the ceiling. If you feel quite stable, you could release the hands here and bring them in front of the heart. or you were feeling energized, if you wanted to this morning, you could take the arms out as wide as you would like. And you could imagine, I often imagine this with my hands like this, that I'm holding the sun. I'm holding the sun, and it's shining down on my body, shining down with its warmth on my body, on my face. Bringing the hands together now when you're ready, and then back to the heart. Taking hold of the chair if you need a little support, or hands onto the leg to bring the foot onto the floor. Taking the other side, tucking the other toes under. Deciding where you're happy for that other knee to be, other foot to be. Holding onto the chair, drawing the elbows back, and give a little squeeze of the hands. And lifting the chest up, maybe lifting the face towards the ceiling. Feeling the support from the chair, from the ground, as maybe we choose to bring the hands in front of the heart. Maybe we choose to reach the arms up towards the sky. Taking a breath. And then bringing the hands back together and to the chest as we replace that foot back onto the ground. Lovely. We're going to do that one more time, a little bit faster, but don't let me rush you. You take your time. We'll bring the whole thing together into one flow. So hands in front of the body, feeling the ground and the chair, spine nice and tall. And with your own breath, just reaching up, stroking the air with the hands as you take the hands wide. And then they're going to land onto the legs. We're going to take that C curve in your own time, tucking the tailbone, rounding the back, head releasing, full breath. And then growing the spine as we lift up and out of the lower back, middle back, upper back, face to the sky, maybe the arms to the sky. And then we're going to fold forward with hands, elbows, or the chest. Let the head rest as much as you can. Take a full breath. Support the hands on the body, or reach the arms back up to the sky as you slowly come up. And then bring the hands back down through the midline to the heart. Let's take one leg back, toes tucked under, holding onto the chair, drawing the elbows in, lifting the face and the chest towards the light, towards the sun. Maybe choosing to release the support of the hands on the chair. And then bringing the hands back to the chest as we swap sides. Taking your time, don't let me rush you. Feeling organized, maybe staying with support from the chair. Maybe once again releasing the hands. Breath flowing lovely and free in this body. And then bringing the hands back together as we bring the feet onto the floor. And then letting the hands rest on the legs, feeling the weight of the hands on the legs. Taking a little nod of the head again, so a little nod of the head, a little rest. And bring the attention back into the center of you, wherever you believe it to be. And just take a few breaths. Just noticing that center of you. One more breath, just feeling that center of you. Slowly lifting the head. Let's take a few little shoulder rolls. Let's release our shoulders. We're just going to take a little bit of the circling. Always like to put in a circling of the hips, because when we free up the pelvis, we really free up the spine. So a lot of lower back problems can be supported by freeing the pelvis up. So I've just stepped my feet a little bit wider, taking the feet comfortable distance. Hands onto the legs or the hips, and we're going to take that really familiar circling. And you can make, as always, the circle quite small, or you can get really juicy with it. And I love to see some of you really bringing the shoulders in and the head in if that suits you. And the body likes to move in spirals and circles, especially female bodies. I find they're not, a lot of traditional yoga practice was, asana practice was designed for male bodies, as so many things were. And so actually it's very angular, very straight. And there's nothing really straight about a body. There's no line in the body. And as you move, just really get sensitive to all those little changes and feelings. You can notice sensations through the waist, through the back, through the thighs, through the neck, through the head. How does it feel? Changing direction if you haven't already. Moving as slowly as or as fast as you would like. Slowly or as fast as you would like. And then we're going to slow it down and kind of come back to center. As we do, as we slow it down, feeling the weight begin to settle. So the weight of the spine and the head begin to settle right into the center of that pelvic bowl. Just finding that root as if there was a root right down through the center of the body. And let's bring a little bit of movement into the hips. So I'm going to bring my hands, thumb and fingers around the top of my thigh bones. I'm going to sit right on the edge of my chair. And I'm going to roll my right knee out to the side and then my right knee in. I've done this one before. And it can feel surprisingly tricky. Or it can feel super easy this morning. Just notice how your body feels. Does it feel nice and oiled, or does it feel like it needs a bit of oiling? And I can watch my foot and move the body and see how the foot moves the ankle, moves the knee. And I can get really involved. So I can use my hand to help move the leg, or I can take my hands away and turn my palm up. So my palm up, elbow is in close to the body as I'm rolling my knee away, and then I can turn my palm down and bring it across the body as I bring my knee in. So this is a bit of a mind-brain activity as well, using hand and leg at the same time. Or you can use the hand to support the movement of the leg. Because if you're not using the hand, you're really having to use those muscles around the hip. A couple more times, just feeling how that is. It may feel really challenging. You may need to do a little less. And then let's let that be our last one. And I'm going to slide that leg away. I'm just going to let the leg grow as long as it would like to be. And just let it rest away from the body. And I'm going to rest onto my heel. If it's more comfortable to keep the knee bent and the foot fully on the floor, feel free. But I'm just resting on my heel. Might even pull my toes a little bit more back towards the body. But you can keep the leg as soft as you want. And I'm going to take a little twist towards this bent leg. So as I breathe out, I'm going to twist my body towards the bent leg. And I'm just going to look over that shoulder. And you could bring your hands to hold on to the leg in the chair if that gave you more support. Take a little twist around. The leg that's long can bend at any time. You can bring the foot onto the floor at any time. One more easy breath in this twist, finding lots of length in the spine. And coming back to center. You can use the hands around the foot to bring, around the leg rather, to bring the right knee back onto the floor. We can again, thumb and fingers can slip around the legs. We're just going to start dropping opposite knee in now and carrying it away, just getting a sense of how this side feels. And maybe we need the hand to help support that movement, or maybe we can free the hand up. So I'm keeping the elbow close to the body, and as I take the knee away, I take the palm away. As I bring the knee in, I bring the palm into the body. So this little movement is a really nice stretch for the chest as you take the palm away, and then a little stretch for the shoulder blade as you bring the palm in. A couple of times, just feeling what movement you can find through the hip, Through the elbow. One last time. Really nice. Rest the hands and then slide that leg away. The leg that you were just moving, slide it away from the body. Either the foot can stay on the floor or the heel. You could draw the toes back towards you. We're going to twist towards this bent leg. Breathing out, rotating the body around towards the leg, carrying the head and looking over the shoulder. Holding on to the chair and the leg if we would like. Just taking a breath or two. Spine nice and long. Just notice if you're pushing your belly forward and just relax the belly a little. And then as you breathe out, coming back to center, really nice. Use the hands if you need to get the feet on the floor, and let's step the feet back closer together. Let's bring the hands onto the legs. Let's rest the head a little. Maybe take a little slump of the shoulders, take a little breath, a little rest for the spine. And let's take 3 breaths now, but this time I'd like you to imagine bringing the attention not into the center of you, but right into the center of your head. I'd like you to try and locate with your attention right in the center of your head. Take 3 breaths, remembering that you choose where to take your attention whenever you want. Notice how it feels to try and guide that attention right into the center of the head. And then lifting the head up when you're ready, coming to neutral. Now this next position can be taken standing or seated on the chair. So if you want to remain seated, then you're simply going to stretch one leg out in front of you and draw the toes back towards you and keep your hands on your hips. If you would like to be standing, you're going to stand up and then take the pillow off the chair so that I don't slip. And actually I'm going to bring my leg up onto the chair. So you've got an option either of staying seated on the chair and just stepping one leg out in front, making the leg long, or you're going to stand. And in that standing or that seated position, we're looking to really lengthen the spine. We're going to keep a very gentle bend in the back of the knee of the long leg. And as we breathe out, we're going to take a fold from the hips, moving down toward the body. If we want to rest the hands on the leg, we don't want to press. We just want to feel a sensation of length moving up through the long leg. And we want to feel that the spine is long. So can we lift and lengthen into the crown of the head as we begin to fold. And if you've got availability and you want to, the hands can come down onto the chair. You could also bend the standing leg a little bit and move the weight of the pelvis back a little bit if you're standing. I'll just demonstrate for the seated option as well still. You'll just be coming forward. Take another couple of breaths. You can come out at any time. Try and keep some space around that hip, where the thigh bone meets the hip joint. And then let's soften both knees. Let's bend both knees. Press through the feet to come up. You're working with your foot on the chair, just bend the leg completely. Feel stable as you bring your feet onto the floor. Step both feet together, whether you're seated or standing. Just have a little notice one side to the other, and then let's take the other side. So we're going to step the other leg forward or onto the chair. Make sure we feel stable. We can hold on to extra supports if we're standing. Soften in the back of the knee of the leg that is long. Draw the toes towards you and folding from the hips. Folding from the hips as we come forward. Keeping the spine as long as we can find. Lots of length in the spine. Most importantly, just staying with the breath. Just to be present with the sensations that are arising. One more breath here. And then let's come out. Let's lift the chest, bring the hands in. Let's bring both feet back onto the floor. And if we were standing, let's come and sit back down onto our chair. Bring both feet back onto the floor for a moment. Go and just take a breath or two. Noticing the sensations around through the legs, maybe through the front of the hips, the knees, the back. And then we're just going to take a little kind of variation of tree pose, but on the chair here. So we're going to bring together some of these movements. We're going to this is actually my right knee, but it doesn't matter which side you start on. I'm going to let my right knee fall out to the side. So I'm resting on the outside edge of my right foot here. Now that might be enough for you. If you feel that it's available to lift that foot up and rest it onto something like a cushion or a pillow, or maybe even available for you to bring that ankle up onto the opposite thigh. And this leg can be long, as long as you're not resting onto the knee. It doesn't have to be completely bent and close to the body. So you've got lots of options. You may have a slightly longer leg, and you can have the leg long with the toes drawing back to you if you can maintain that position. So here, resting onto a cushion, or just here on the floor. Let's bring the hands towards the heart. Take a breath. And if you wish, you could float the arms up and take them out to the side, as if the hands and the arms were like the branches of your tree. And you could take a couple of breaths, and you could imagine here maybe the sunlight just falling on the branches. You could wiggle the fingers just ever so lightly, as if they were the leaves just blowing in the wind. And then when you're ready, come back to the center, come back through the midline. And let's rest the legs. Let's release that leg onto the ground. Bring the other foot on, if it wasn't already, onto the floor. Both feet onto the floor. Just take a moment. And let's do the other side. So we're going to roll the other knee out. We may stay here just resting on the edge of the foot. We might like to slide the other leg long maybe. We could raise this leg where the knee is moving away from the body up, rest it on a cushion. We could bring it up onto the leg. And then the hands could come together in front of the heart. We could reach up. We could open the arms as if they were the branches of the tree. Just lift the chest and the face to the sunlight. A couple of breaths. Really bringing the hands back together into the chest. Releasing the legs so that both feet come onto the floor. And then just have a little wobble of the legs and the knees. Have a little wobble. Take the hands to the side of the body. Have a little shake and a wobble. And then we're going to come down. We're going to come down onto the ground and rest, or we're going to take a rest on our chair. So if we're going to stay on the chair, we could tuck the tailbone under, maybe move it a little forward from the back. We could have a cushion in there. We could let the head hang and just rest the elbows and hands onto a cushion. Or we might like to lean back and have something underneath the head, as well as having something across the chest for the arms. If you want to come down onto the floor and lift your legs up onto the chair, or if you want to now come and sit or lie on your couch or your bed with your legs up or not, you could let that happen and just settle in. Give you a few moments just to find a comfortable place to be. Making sure that you are warm enough. Warm enough. I've got my jumper on. And then just allow yourself a few moments more. A few moments more really to begin to rest. A few moments to organize, to amend your position so that you really do feel fully comfortable. Mr. Name there. And then notice how it feels now to come to this place of relative stillness. Notice how it feels now to stop all movement in the body, if you've chosen to. Notice if there's some sense of relief or difficulty at coming into stillness. And with whatever you're noticing, bring in that kindness. Bring in that conversation with self that is, it's okay. It's okay, excuse me, to be tired. It's okay for my attention to wander. It's okay for me to feel bored or to feel excited. That kindness that just meets you as you are and makes space to welcome you as you are. See how possible it is for you. In these moments, as you organize and settle and get warm and comfortable, to extend yourself a little bit of that okayness. Same kind of kindness that we extend so easily to others. And then in your own time, really allow your attention to get sensitive to that support that there is for you here. Support from the surfaces that your body is meeting. Feel the depth and the firmness of that support. So maybe you're in a structure on the earth, but know that that structure rests on that solid, firm ground. And sense that silent, solid support that is always there for you from the ground. Ground needs nothing from you, expects nothing of you, just shows up every day just to hold your body. Take some time just exploring the quality of that support. Solidity, strength, the presence of support from the ground. You can stay just sensing the ground, or you could move that kind attention onto the breath if you would like. And come just to notice that rising and falling of breath in this supported, welcome and resting body. as if the breath itself were a rich support, ever present, showing up every moment of every hour of every day. This rising and falling breath. Another constant support to us. Ground and breath supporting us. And if you would like, you could take your attention right into the center of you once again, wherever you believe that to be. Feeling the breath, feeling the ground as you settle that awareness in the center of you. And here you could return or connect to your sense of well-being. And this well-being is ever present and unchanging. And we create or we connect to this sense of well-being, first of all, by naming it, naming the words that describe it to us. For me, it's peaceful and calm. Choosing the words that describe your sense of well-being. And then bringing forward pictures or images that support those words, maybe of memories of times or places you've felt those words alive in you. Or maybe imaginations of when you feel you might feel those words alive in you. So your well-being comes to you in words and pictures. And then through those words and pictures, you may also begin to feel the touch of well-being in the body itself, a felt sense, a lived, felt sense of that well-being, alive in you now, in this resting and supported body. How incredible it would be to touch into that unchanging and ever-present resource of well-being that resides in you all the time, regardless of feelings or thoughts that arise and fall in your attention. This ever-present, steady, silent well-being. Could stay with that imagining, with that connecting, with that feeling. You could return attention to ground. Or if you wanted to now, you could imagine just letting your attention settle right into the center of your head. As the attention settles into the center of your head, it's as if all effort of attention dissolves. No need to imagine or focus or try in any way. Just to dissolve all effort. choosing to, if you would like, return the attention into the center of you once again, to name and see and feel that sense of well-being. Knowing that this lies like the earth constantly within us, unchanging and ever present. We can return to it whenever we want, wherever we are, with our attention and our imagination. And then knowing that as this practice of rest just comes to a close, and come back out into this body, into this place here and now, we can begin to really feel the breath again rising and falling in the body. We can begin to really tune into that breath in, bringing back just enough energy that we need to see us off our mat and out into the rest of the day. We can begin to feel the ground, rock against it, stroke it, tap it, roll on it, however we might like to feel the ground. Eventually, maybe moving the jaw, opening and closing the eyes. If we close the eyes, just coming back into the space any way that you would like, moving and stretching. Oh, however feels good. This practice has come to a close. Thank you so much